again, after the week that these dudes had, the receivers, I can't believe the game started the way that it started with the Thornton drop, which is just hands. And that's his look. There's almost nothing he's done well at the NFL level, but like, you're going to send the guy downfield. I mean, catch the ball. And it didn't happen. They tried to run him on a little screen or something too, and he didn't get going after. He doesn't have an elite football skill outside of being able to run fast, but what you're going to get
he's
there.
Fast. He's a track star. He doesn't
fast.
have a feel for the football.
Also, he's really good at those love of the game routes. He's very smart and knows how to clear out spaces, what Tyler Hughes told us.
AKA run really fast.
Run fast and clear out the defense. But look, ball hits your look, it's simple. You're in the NFL. Ball hits you in both hands. You catch the ball. You don't. It's just a fail. It doesn't matter. It's not. That's supposed to be automatic. And you have that. Then Boutte making a business. Throw me the damn ball. Kayshon Boutte making a business decision. Little alligator arm going over the middle. And look, it's scary. I'm glad that's not my job, but it's his job, and you can't do that. And he drops one. You certainly can't do it after the week that they had, saying to anybody who would talk to them how much they deserve to get the ball and how from the Jalen Polk saying he has the best hands to Boutte to give me the ball to everybody, to Osborne, who didn't play at all today.
He played a little bit. I saw him on the field a couple times. That's why I saw some times where he was on for pop, and I was like, why is this happening? What is going on?
But the drops all over the place. And again, it's multiple. I think it was 4, maybe 5 throughout the game. Boutte had 2.
5 total.
His own,
Boutte had 2.
Bourne had 1. Thornton had 1.
Bourne had 2. Boutte had 2. Thornton had 1.
Bourne had 2. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. And that's bad. Bourne not being the one who popped off, but Bourne also being a guy who you expect not to.
He's always popping off. He's always talking about, we have to play better. Now, granted, he takes accountability.
He takes accountability, but he's not saying throw me the ball because I'm the best guy out there and then dropping it all over the place. So all of that happened, and then you have terrific redemption arc there with Boutte coming back and making huge plays. The one
Tyquan too made a nice play.
He did. They dumped it off to him on 3rd down, and he made a guy miss and made the conversion.
Little yak, and that was nice. And that was a nice play by him. And then, as you guys already described, that route where he kind of gets sauced a turn and then breaks it back inside, and then a slight underthrow because Brissett. The rush is coming into his space there. He got smoked, gets the throw off, and Boutte's got to break off that after going full speed and just getting into his break and come back to the ball. Is a very athletic play and to slide to make that play. And then the near touchdown where his knee is down on the inch line, his knee is down with the ball on the 1 inch line right beforehand. I mean, 2 critical plays, and without those, there is no victory today. And so a good redemption arc. But I'll ask this is, what, if anything, have we learned here? Like, if we're the receivers, like, what is the narrative going to be going into next week? Like, see, I told you, or is there some humility, little humble pies, or anything here?
They still need help,
but I don't think they're going to be, because they're already posting. So I don't know if any humility is going to enter that room. I think there's going to be some changes in that room. I think it may be down 1 Tyquan Thornton and 1 KJ Osborne come. When's the deadline?
Next Tuesday, I believe, is the trade deadline.
So Tuesday coming up, the one after that.
The one after that.
You're either getting trade or you're getting cut. I mean, one of those 2 things is happening.
There's some promising stuff. Kayshon Boutte has 2 drops today, but there's obviously been some promising stuff from him over the last 3 weeks. Demario Douglas is a guy who your 3rd wide receiver in 11 personnel. Jalen Polk, he needs to figure it out. Javon Baker, missing curfew, according to Mike Reese today. He was active, but didn't play a single offensive snap.
I love how that was worded.
Which was a surprise.
I love how that was worded. He had some hiccups. He had some curfew-related hiccups.
And he paid for it, to be fair. He was
team-related
last week. But no, they need a lot of help in the wide receiver room. They still need a true number 1, a true X, and whether that is through the draft with the Ted McMillan, whether that's through free agency with a T. Higgins, they do need to do more next season to help Drake May in this room. So there's a few notable building blocks, I would say, with guys in pop, and Kayshon Boutte is someone who can seemingly fill in at an X or Z role if you need it. But guys like Kendrick Bourne, KJ Osborne, and Tyquan Thornton, they should not be, and they're not really a part of the future of the Patriots in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I think the ones that you really think are going to hopefully, show this team something as the year goes on, and hopefully next year for real, are Boutte, Pop, Polk, and then Baker. And all those guys, if they do just figure it out and can find some way to be consistent at the things they're good at, that's a really good young receiving core. I think it's one of the better ones in the NFL, just considering how many different skill sets you have.
You need a big bounce back from Jalen Polk rather than that.
Oh, 100%. Oh, no, I'm saying like down the road. Like these
sure.
guys are going to be on the team for another like 2-3 years.
Right.
So, or like obviously there's circumstances, but you're thinking, okay, if these guys can grow with Drake May, have some rapport, and again, the consistency is key. But yeah, if you bring that one guy that puts you over the top and has a truly elite skill set who dictates coverages, maybe someone where in those 10 situations you can go to him and he can score. Or because if you double like one guy, I think that's where the rest of this receiving core really gets to show how talented they can be, again, in some niche roles. So yeah, those are the foundational pieces. But Tyquan Thornton, I think he's maybe not at the end of his rope necessarily, but he's clearly not a guy that you can rely on long term. And KJ Osborne's only on a 1-year deal. Kind of redundant with Kendrick Bourne, but neither one of them have really done enough that you can say, oh, yes, we have to keep this guy. No. Kendrick at least has been on the team for a while and is more of an established leader. So, yeah, I think Kendrick Bourne may stick around, but yeah, exactly.
Right,
but
3 years,
I don't know. I don't think KJ and Tyquan are going to.
But also, that's the thing. If Bourne were showing out right now, I think he'd be available as well, because you're looking ahead and you're building around things. And, I mean, he was already potentially included in the Ayuk deal. And, right now he's just not all the way back yet. And he's not their guy, because he has the ability on this team, at least, to be the kind of the target monster, the guy that's the reliable guy that they look to. And it's not happening yet, whether that has to do with scheme or just simply he's just working his way back from, reconstructive knee surgery. Hard to say. It's a tough thing, especially in those first couple of games back there. But again, whether you move on from Osborne, you move on from Osborne.
Thank
Thornton,
God for Hunter Henry.
That's fine, and thank goodness for Hunter Henry here. But yeah, that's, I guess, your keepers there if you're looking at it. Now, it's interesting that Javon Baker, as we talked about with the hiccup that he had, was active, didn't really get in there. So I guess just being active was enough at this point. So there might be more of an opportunity if those guys do go at this point, though. In a week or so.
Like this week, we were told that he needed to do better on offense and special teams. And he was saying, it's not my time. It's not my time. So I think it did sound like, offensively, probably wasn't going to have a role today. But when he was active, Jeremy Springer said he had a good week of practice. So then it sounded like, okay, he's probably just going to play special teams.
Right.
What surprised me was usually he's more of a coverage guy. He hasn't really been back there actually getting the ball. So at least he had his first NFL touch today, actually, which is pretty big.
The opportunity with the ball in his hands.
Right. So at least he's doing something behind the scenes. And I understand, yes, he got in trouble last week, but we got the actual confirmation of the news later this week. For him and the team, I'm sure that was well behind them. They sat him down. He wasn't active. He took his punishment. Then it was, how do you bounce back from it? And clearly he did enough to inspire some confidence after being a healthy scratch for multiple weeks. And it wasn't even like he was just on the roster because they needed to have him active. Like we were kind of talking about that. There were so many guys hurt.
With Uche being a healthy scratch, right?
Right, exactly.
There was the idea where, okay, is he just out here just to be active because, they need to have 47 or 46 guys on the active roster for the game. But no, he actually did play a little bit where Uche was a healthy scratch and didn't play at all.
Yeah, like Uche had played less than 20 snaps 2 weeks in a row, 0 pressures, and it feels like once a week he has one glaring mistake. Last week he missed a tackle in space that contributed to a conversion. I think it was on third down or at least an explosive play. So, yeah, it seems like Javon Baker truly is making strides, and obviously everybody wants to see him on the field. He's the only true X receiver on this team. Kayshon Boutte filled that role today, but he's 5'11". You don't want X receivers being 5'11", because as you can see, like a guy like Sauce, there's not a whole lot you can do. It's just the guy's bigger, stronger, and faster than you. He's really better at the Z, where they've tried to have him kind of mixing in with Kendrick Bourne. So, another step in the right direction for Javon Baker.
So I did want to ask here, sorry, and I got sidetracked. What do you see him earning snaps at some point? Do you see it grow? And then you said it wasn't necessarily his time. Do you see it growing for him potentially? For Baker, yeah.
For Baker, I'll say only if they do end up moving one of these guys in Tyquan Thornton, KJ Osborne, because right now I think they're pretty steadily ahead of him on the depth chart. And we also see what happens when a guy like Jalen Polk comes back from the concussion. But I do think that things have to happen that are outside of his control for him to really start to see snaps here, only because it's been the thing where, and Alex Van Pelt said it, he has to get better understanding the playbook, being in the right spot, being in the, running the right route and things like that. And I think the reason we haven't seen him on the field on the offense is for those reasons. And so unless he can really turn that around, and that's going to be the key here. But I think as long as Osborne and Tyquan Thornton are still here, I think it's going to be hard for him to see the field.
So Taylor, you said this at the beginning of camp. Like you said it early. You said Baker's got you. I think you might have made a kind of a bold prediction that Baker was your kind of like clubhouse leader to potentially be that X receiver on this team.
Mhm.
And then there was a period of camp where it looked like, oh, this could be possible. And then it kind of went quiet.
He was the best
Then-
receiver for like 3 days in a row.
It was like
Yeah.
him and Pop, and they looked completely different than everybody
Yeah.
else.
And so that's kind of the thing is you saw some of it and it was like, oh boy. And that's the thing is like everything about, being a Patriots fan these days is about what if we got something in this guy? And,
Yeah.
you got lightning in a bottle with Douglas. I mean, you got lucky with, let's not say lucky. You hit with a guy like
Yeah.
Douglas, even if he's not a Pro Bowl receiver, to hit at that point in the draft and get anybody and a person who is probably by far your best weapon currently, as much as an indictment on the other weapons, but he's real. Now, Boutte, we're seeing now a couple of things and he's flashing a little bit. Those are guys that you plucked out of nowhere. Baker is a guy who's a second, late first, early second round talent who fell all the way to the fourth. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping like, did we outsmart everybody here? And
Mhm.
again, and I don't think that like, oh, he saw the field and played 12 snaps is going to get people there. And you want to see that talent if it's real or not real. So assuming he puts the mental stuff together, does he have the talent to get on the field and start to make an impact? Because you really do have to start seeing the guys make plays. You can't just be all on Drake May running around and Hunter Henry being a security blanket and that's it, and scheming a few things open from time to time. You have to have somewhere in this point, somebody help you out.